Micron Technology, the company that just reported the most profitable quarter in the history of the memory industry, the company that guided to $50 billion in revenue for next quarter, the company that crossed a $1 trillion market cap in May. That same company is now down 30% from its absolute peak. Let me say that again so it sinks in. 30%. From a stock that peaked at $1,211.38 on June 22nd to $848.95 as of Friday's close, a $362.43 drop per share, on a company that just delivered 346% year-over-year revenue growth and a 21% earnings surprise. Now look, a lot of channels are going to cover that headline today. They're going to show you the red chart. They're going to say Micron is crashing, and they're going to move on. That's not what we're doing here. Because here's the question that actually matters. When a stock drops 30% right after reporting the best quarter in its entire history, is the business broken? Or is the market just doing what markets always do? That's the story today, and by the end of this video, you'll understand this Micron drop better than most people who just saw the red chart this morning. I'm John A.G. This is Future AI Stocks. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research before making investment decisions. On June 24th, Micron reported fiscal Q3 2026 results, and this wasn't just a good quarter, it was a generational one. Revenue of $41.46 billion, up 346% year over year and 74% above the prior quarter alone. That beat Wall Street's consensus estimate of $35.82 billion by $5.64 billion. Non-GAAP earnings per share came in at $25.11, beating the $20.71 consensus by $4.40, a 21% upside surprise. Non-GAAP gross margin hit 84.9%, a new company record, up from just 39.0% in the same quarter a year earlier. Operating margin hit 81.2%. Operating cash flow reached $25.39 billion for the quarter alone, but the headline numbers weren't even the most important disclosure. Micron also guided its next quarter to approximately $50 billion in revenue, plus or minus $1 billion, with gross margins expanding further to roughly 86%, and non-GAAP EPS guidance of $31 plus or minus $1. If a company reports record revenue, record margins, and record earnings, and then guides the next quarter even higher, what should the stock do? It should go up. And it did. Briefly, Micron's shares touched their all-time highs, an intraday peak of $1,255 and a closing high near $1,213, both on June 25th, the day after that earnings report. And since that peak, the stock has done almost nothing but fall, down to $848.95 by Friday's close. Here's what should stop you before you assume this is a company falling apart. In the weeks since that earnings report, the large majority of analysts covering Micron have kept or raised their price targets, not cut them. KeyCorp raised its target from $1,600 to $1,750 on July 14th. TD Cowen holds a $1,600 target. The consensus across roughly 45 analysts sits around $1,486, which implies well over 70% upside from Friday's $848.95 close. So look at what's actually happening at the same time. The business is hitting record numbers. Most analysts are holding or raising targets, and the stock is down 30%. Something doesn't add up on the surface, and that's exactly what the rest of this video is going to unpack. So what actually caused a 30% collapse in a company that had just posted its best quarter ever? It wasn't Micron's business. It was three external shocks that hit the sector in quick succession. First, Changshin Memory Technologies, China's largest DRAM manufacturer, announced an $8.55 billion IPO on July 15th to fund domestic expansion. Chinese memory makers have historically trailed Micron, Samsung, and SK Hynix by several generations, but that kind of capital injection reads to the market as a long-term threat to future pricing power, even though current U.S. restrictions keep CXMT out of the high-margin HBM business for now. Second, Taiwan Semiconductor reported record Q2 earnings on July 16th, net income up sharply year over year, but also raised its 2026 capital expenditure forecast to a range of $60 to $64 billion, well above its prior guidance. Instead of reading that purely as bullish confirmation of AI demand, some investors read it as a sign the industry might be overbuilding, and Micron fell alongside the rest of the sector that same day. Third, SK Hynix's own NASDAQ debut on July 10th turned unexpectedly volatile. An initial pop followed by a sharp double-digit reversal in the days after, and that volatility spilled over into every other memory name trading alongside it, Micron included. None of these three events were about Micron's actual business. They were sector-wide shocks landing on a stock that had already run roughly 700% over the prior year, which is exactly the kind of setup where institutional investors start locking in profits. While those three headlines were dominating the news, something quieter was happening in the background, and it's worth understanding honestly. Insider selling at Micron has reportedly reached its highest pace since 2010, according to 24/7 Wall Street's review of SEC filings. On May 1st, CEO Sanjay Mehrotra sold 40,000 shares at an average of $536.26, roughly $21.45 million. On May 29th, he sold 37,439 shares across 30 separate transactions at a weighted average of $960.38, approximately $35.96 million. On June 26th, he sold a combined 38,030 shares in two transactions at prices between $1,128 and $1,192, roughly $46.3 million. Board Director Lynn Dougal sold 1,300 shares on July 2nd, worth about $1.5 million. Context matters here, and it's important context, not an excuse. Every one of Mehrotra's sales was executed under a Rule 10b5-1 trading plan he adopted on January 30th, 2026, before this AI-driven rally really took off, meaning these were pre-scheduled, automatic sales, not decisions made in real time based on where the stock happened to be trading. Mehrotra still directly holds roughly 344,000 shares, plus another 607,075 held indirectly through family trusts, so he remains heavily invested in the company's outcome. That said, Guru-focused data shows roughly 1 insider purchase against 36 insider sales over the trailing 12 months, a real imbalance worth noting even with the 10b5-1 context attached. As Peter Lynch once put it, insiders sell for many reasons, but they only buy for one. Now here's where a 30% price drop on a company whose earnings just went up starts to matter for valuation, not just sentiment. This is also where I want to be careful with you because different data providers currently disagree meaningfully on Micron's exact forward PE ratio. Some show figures in the mid-single digits, around 5 to 6 times. Others show figures closer to 10 to 13 times, depending on which forward earnings estimate and which point in time they're measuring from. I'm not going to pretend that gap doesn't exist or hand you one precise number as if it were settled fact. What is consistent across every source is the direction. Micron is trading at a fraction of the semiconductor sector's median forward multiple, which sits above 30 times on a company still growing revenue at triple-digit percentage rates. The PEG ratio, price to earnings relative to growth, is reported by some data providers as low as 0.03, and a PEG anywhere meaningfully under 1.0 generally signals a stock priced well below its own growth rate. There's a real structural reason this matters more than in past cycles. Micron's 16 strategic customer agreements, signed with data center, consumer, and automotive customers, carry a cumulative minimum price revenue commitment of roughly $100 billion, running through 2030 for most agreements. Under those contracts, Micron expects to collect $22 billion in cash deposits and related commitments, about $18 billion of that in actual cash. These are take-or-pay agreements with price floors that management says guarantee gross margins above any level Micron has hit in a prior cycle. That's a meaningfully different business than the purely commodity, boom-and-bust memory maker Micron used to be. And it's a big part of why so many analysts are treating this drop as a valuation reset rather than the start of a new down cycle. Zoom out to the actual demand story, because this is what the bull case ultimately rests on. High bandwidth memory, HBM, is the memory that sits directly beside every Nvidia GPU, every AMD AI accelerator, every custom AI chip from the major cloud providers. Micron's HBM capacity is reportedly contracted and sold out well into 2027, with purchase orders already extending into 2028. Micron itself projects the total HBM market could reach $100 billion by 2028, growing at close to 40% annually, a target the company has said arrived 2 years earlier than it previously expected. Only 3 companies on Earth can produce HBM at meaningful scale: Micron, SK Hynix, and Samsung. And new fab capacity from all three typically takes 3 to 5 years between groundbreaking and volume production. That means the supply-constrained environment that produced this quarter's record margins doesn't meaningfully change for at least another year or two, even if every competitor builds as fast as physically possible. Let's be balanced about what could genuinely go wrong here. First, the exact forward PE and PEG figures for this stock vary meaningfully by data source right now. Treat any single precise number you see quoted, including the ones in this video, with some healthy skepticism rather than as settled fact. Second, Goldman Sachs is a notable outlier among the analysts on this stock, holding a target near just $400, warning that new HBM capacity from Micron, SK Hynix, and Samsung arriving simultaneously by 2027 and 2028 could compress today's historically high margins, and arguing today's numbers represent a peak, not a new floor. That's a real, credible risk, not a fringe view. If AI infrastructure demand growth slows even modestly while that new capacity lands, margins could compress faster than the bulls expect. Third, the pace of insider selling, even fully explained by a pre-scheduled trading plan, combined with a roughly 36-to-1 sell-to-buy ratio over the past year, is worth weighing honestly rather than dismissing outright. Fourth, memory has been one of the most cyclical corners of the entire semiconductor industry for decades, and even a genuine structural shift toward long-term contracts doesn't fully erase that history. And finally, a stock that's already fallen 30% can fall further before it finds a bottom. A cheap valuation on paper is not the same thing as a price floor. Know your risks before you know your thesis. So here's the one thing I want you to walk away with today. When Micron's stock dropped 30% from its peak, most people saw a broken chart. What we looked at today is the actual business sitting underneath that chart and the disconnect between record fundamentals and a falling stock price. Micron just guided to $50 billion in quarterly revenue. It has roughly $100 billion in contracted revenue running through 2030. Its HBM capacity is sold out well into 2027, and most data providers still show it, trading at a steep discount to the rest of the semiconductor sector. The drop wasn't caused by Micron failing, it was caused by sector-wide shocks, institutional profit-taking, and real insider selling, all converging on a stock that had run roughly 700% in a year. Whether that turns into the value opportunity most of Wall Street is calling it, or validates Goldman's far more cautious $400 target, comes down to whether those strategic customer agreements hold up the way management is promising, and whether AI infrastructure demand keeps growing the way UBS, TD Cowen, and Bank of America are all betting it will. Neither is a clean, easy story. Both are worth understanding deeply. If this gave you a framework you didn't have this morning, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who want research over noise. Drop a comment. Do you think Micron's 30% drop is a buying opportunity or a warning sign? Subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'm John A.G. I'll see you in the next one.